I've got this this setup for this jig I put on here for doing the bearings. And what I found is I need to put it on a specific way so that the line goes through the center of the hole, because the hole's not exactly centered with the cap. So I'm drawing it on just by hand first. And the reason I'm doing that is I can see how far the groove's going to be from the end. That's going to be okay. I'm happy with that. I'm going to do the same thing with the rod. You can see there's 2 holes there. I'm only hitting one. See if I turn it around. It brought it over a little more. I got to decide which side's going to be best for this. It's going to be this way. I'm not sure why this rod is different from the other rods, but I've got my mark on there. I know where I'm at. What I've found with the rods is I can't get the right angle to get the ball mill in there. So I am cutting these by hand. After I've done a few of them, I got pretty good at it. Now in doing this, I'm being careful not to have the lock nut hit or come down at an angle to where it burns the side of the babbitt. I opened up a groove between the 2 oil holes. And then the way I'm doing the cap is, it's kind of hard to hold. So I am lightly, that needs a little more clamp load, lightly holding the jig in. I got a little chatter in that. It's not bad. Just flip this around the other side. What I was doing here is I was resting the shank on the brass end of it, and it was actually controlling the depth of the cut somewhat. I didn't have the jig go to the edge here, so what I'll do is I'll bolt these together, and then I'll come in and finish the connection when I get them bolted together. So that's how I'm doing this. What I got going on now is, this is out of the production rod. What they did is they machined a groove here to allow the oil to come up and get off to the side of the bearings, and they've got one on either side. Another thing it does is if the babbitt starts to stick and move, it gives it a place to go. And you can see where this bearing had started to fail. That babbitt pulled in there and it got up and out of the way instead of embedding. There was some embedding here, and the babbitt started to come apart here. I mean, I don't know how long this has been in the engine. So upon putting my caps in and starting to machine the grooves, I discovered something. Once again, the machine shop, they poured the babbitt bearing, and I'm going to go to the non-groove side. I've already put a small groove in here. So what are we looking at here? What, about 3.5 millimeters thickness? A mil. They poured the babbitt off center of the rod. They only left me a mil. Unbelievable. Well, this is not the only cap they've done it to. They've done it to this one too. So what I'm going to do is I'm only going to put the oil groove on the side that's got enough meat to handle it. Jeez, that even looks a little off. What do they got going on here? I don't know. There's something strange going on. All I know is I'm not cutting any material out of that. Well, the more I looked at this, what do we got right here? About 5 mil? What do we got up here? 3? They didn't even pour the babbitt straight in the cap. So that means this rod is going to be twisted. My mind is blown. Just blown. And this was supposed to be a reputable babbitt bearing, pouring bearing machine shop that has been in business for going on 3 generations. Never again. Well, I've literally had it for the day. I was deburring these, taking a closer look at them, and a casting bubble in the babbitt. Could be a problem. More than likely, it's not a problem. But usually when you have porosity somewhere, you've got it more than the places you can just see it. I'm done for today. Pretty discouraged. After today, I'm going for the big one. See what we'll get into tomorrow.